So, is there any last bit of wisdom we can share? I mean, we've done a few nice facts, nice interesting things. See, useless knowledge. And this is the point of the back office, by the way, for those of you who don't know. I mean, I like to research things and learn about stuff, and then I don't really talk about it or tell anybody, so it's pretty much wasted and it's in my brain. Richard may do the same, but he's a bit more blabby than me. So yeah, we're sort of sharing it between ourselves, this useless trivia, and hopefully with you at home.
Yeah. Useless trivia at home, you mean?
Yeah, useless trivia. The useless trivia at home. Richard, have you ever had a go on a Segway?
No.
I'm shocked.
I've suddenly realised my life is incomplete. I can imagine exactly what it's like, and so it doesn't interest me that much.
And they do them without even the handlebars now. Yeah. It's just two wheels on a cylinder that you jump on.
That's brilliant. I must buy one of them. I'll get one. We'll review it here.
We'll review it here. What I was thinking though, I would quite like the idea of a Segway type device that is on a leash that I can take with me shopping, and it's kind of a bit like a shopping cart. Right. But you can go out of the store with it, and it's
or golf trolley, just sort of follows you around.
I suppose it is just a golf trolley.
I think you can get golf trolleys.
Or like what old ladies have with four wheels that they push along. And why would I want one of those? I'm obviously turning into an old lady.
Or maybe just put a big basket on the back of a sort of dog, and it could follow you around with your shopping.
But what's the carrying capacity of a dog?
You'd have to be genetically engineered, obviously, for you could sort of get the ribs to sort of grow out of some sort of basket.
Yeah. I think you'll get some flames off YouTube. Speaking of dogs, I know that Richard is a dog lover. Or a dog aficionado.
I have a wonderful golden retriever, yes.
This really has reminded me of something that was quite interesting. I saw probably several years ago, probably procrastinating whilst an employee of Richard and just going on the internet, wasting time. And
what? Surely you never did something.
I used to waste his time as well by sending him the things that I've been wasting my time on. One of the things that was very interesting at the time was a dog robot. Do you remember there was a dog robot that someone in MIT had made for military? It was like a robotic pack animal.
Yes.
And it was programmed with various algorithms that emulate walking. I don't think it was doing it, like a sort of wind-up robot. It was being quite clever about it.
I think I've seen some even better ones that have actually been doing dog agility tests.
So just running?
Actually jumping over hurdles even and landing properly and carrying on. They've actually brought it on a stage recently. I think I saw that. Yeah.
Now, if you recall, the thing that I thought was quite interesting, that was all obviously interesting, but there was something particularly interesting, was as part of the tests, a guy went up to him and he booted it.
Yeah.
He gave it a good old kick, and it staggered, as if it was going to fall. It staggered sideways, and it got back up, and it kept going. And I felt bad for that robot. Yeah? Do you know what I mean? I felt
cruel,
that was unnecessary.
Yeah.
So there's a point, I think, where there's a line here where you can have cruelty to robots.
I think there's a line where we see something as a robot behaving mechanically, and we see something behaving in a fluid, animal-like manner. We're not used to seeing robots move or behave like in the same way that animals do. So we've always been able to make that separation. Robots are always sort of stiff and like this, but once they start having these fluid, balancing movements, we can sort of believe that they are animals.
Yeah.
And kicking such a thing is seen as cruel. So
because is an animal now I'm going to show my ignorance here. Is an animal sentient?
Well, my dog is.
So I don't. Is it self-aware? Is that the definition of sentience?
I think just because they can't talk doesn't mean they're not sentient.
If it sees itself in the mirror, does he go? Looking all right.
I think he knows or she knows that it's her. Yeah.
So perhaps
I think we confuse being able to communicate with intelligence and sentience. I mean, and my dog can certainly communicate. It's just not verbally.
Yeah.
That's the only thing. It's just like
I think most people with pets will be able to relate, be it a cat or whatever, but maybe not a goldfish. Or other useless pets and rodents, snakes. Budgies. Okay.
Well, birds are actually very intelligent.
I do say that word. My parents did have a quite clever bird. Yeah. But there's a scale, I think.
But for the size of brain, they're remarkably intelligent. I mean, crows are very, very intelligent, aren't they? And,
they like stealing things, don't they? And
yeah.
Oh, I've seen things on the internet where a crow or blackbird or similar bird, they've set it a challenge, like there's a tube with a ball and a bit of food and a string, and it's never seen it before, but it's gone up, it's looked at it, and it's pulled the string out to get the nut at the end of it, and they said, "Well, there you go, clever." It's solved a problem, or it's got a twig, or it's poked something.
Well, that's almost one of the definitions of intelligence: the ability to use tools to actually extrapolate that a separate physical object can be used for a different process. So to actually apply tools to something.
So you should feel probably less guilty about the robot dog being kicked. But then people will play video games where they shoot a human video game character in the face and not care. I think when it turns into something physical, there's a little bit more anthropomorphism going on. And what about the Asimo? What's your feelings on that? The Honda robot for those.
I think that's got an awkward gait, so you still can believe it's a robot. When it genuinely starts to walk fluidly, I think when it trots, when it has that little sort of jog, it looks more human. But when it's walking, it's very, very controlled.
Hi, I'm Asimo. It's a bit lame, that bit.
Yeah.
But there was a bit where it's walking down some steps or up some steps and it falls.
Yeah.
And its sort of leg is kind of like this and it's whoa, it's crashed. And I was like, ooh, because I thought, ooh, that must have hurt. Like that hurt its shin. And it's funny, isn't it? I mean,
it sort of it doesn't care. It has no knowledge that it's about to hurt itself because it doesn't. So once it gets beyond that point of control and it's out of control, that's it. It literally does not care, does it? It doesn't know of any consequences.
Yeah.
Even to itself at that point.
So I guess
if it could somehow sort of learn that, I shouldn't have done that, and it starts to sort of gradually learn to sort of flay its arms about when it starts to go over backwards and this sort of thing, you could start to see it's responding to that change in environment. But up till then, it was going through a very, very mechanical process.
Yeah, and I think I suspect if we look on the internet or do some basic research, we'll probably find that there are. I've seen these hobbyist robots that people have made in Japan that are. They look like a whole bunch of servos, effectively dancing and doing things. And probably things. People at home are making things that are more animated and dynamic than these Asimos. Yeah.
But you've got to close that feedback loop. Well, those dancing things would dancing if they're lying on their back. They don't know that they're upright. They don't know what they're actually.
They're not balancing.
Achieving. Yeah, I don't think they're evolving or adapting to their environment at all. They just stay balanced because that's the program that they've been given has been tried. They haven't fallen over on running that program, so therefore they look like they're balancing. But
glorified washing machine.
That's it.
The dial's ticking.
Or not even that.
Not even that.
You couldn't even give it your spools to wash, could you?
Now, where I see this technology ending up, let's be realistic. Honda are spending billions of yen, definitely, on Asimo. And you think, where are they going to end up with that? Because, you're not. It's lame. It's been around for like 10 years, 15 years, and it's still the same sort of toy. But I suspect you'll start seeing from Honda in Japan people like elderly people with arms with a bit of something that looks like Asimo's arm bolted on.
Yeah.
Or their leg will have it. Do you see what I mean?
Oh yeah.
They'll be using that technology, those motors and servos, and the balance thing.
Yeah.
To give people that
mobility. Yeah.
Those future prosthetics will be based on.
Yeah.
Asimo.
Yeah. But I find it quite amazing how passive prostheses are able to work so well, like Pistorius's sort of blades and that sort of thing. That
blades.
or even these artificial legs where people who walk with them, they're just completely passive things. They have no fancy electronics, hydraulics or whatever in them at all. And yet somebody can walk quite naturally just by throwing their leg forward and then falling forward, because walking really is sort of falling with control. So as you walk, you fall, and then you merely throw your leg forward and then carry on falling forward on the next leg. Walking is a very efficient means of locomotion if you just put those small bits of input into it to keep your balance all the time. You're falling. When you start walking, the first thing you do is to destabilise yourself by letting yourself go forward and then catching up with that forward motion.
And it's a sort of regenerative system as well. Your muscles are working together.
Yeah, everything's working on springs. I think you can actually make a passive mechanism that will actually appear to walk down a slope just on the momentum of the slope, and this sort of falling and catching up action.
I want to make that so badly. But a slinky. A very
human slinky. Yeah. So what fascinates me is that there's a lot of passive stuff going on in the walking motion, and you can augment your limbs. I think, and it doesn't have to have all these hydraulics and electronics and everything and sensors. That the control can be quite subtle and still allow you to walk, assist you to walk.
But do you think, if I'm going to give you another angle on that, it's really cool, and you see what they can do, and they can do superhuman things with these.
Yeah.
They become very specialised in what they're doing. What's really cool as well is that you're replacing something with something that's better in many respects, at the cost of its functional lifespan. Yeah, so a human ankle and foot and all that lot is designed to last you your lifetime.
Right.
Yeah, out of the box, sealed for life. It'll work you a lifetime if you don't lop it off or hurt it. So these springy carbon graphite feet probably only last 6 months or whatever.
Yeah.
But they're really good for that 6 months.
Yeah.
And you keep them serviced. So perhaps going forward in the future, humanity, we might be more and more prepared to have this reduced lifespan of components of our body for better functioning ones.
Yeah.
But I feel that probably really is the trade-off though for these runners and things. I'm not saying trade-off; they didn't obviously opt to have them fit.
Well, you imagine any sort of animal that has a shell, or even reptiles, or many of these discard their exoskeleton. Any animal with like a lobster, that's a good example. Yeah, it has all these wonderful armoured joints and all that sort of stuff, but it has to discard all that, climb out of it, and grow a new exoskeleton slightly bigger than the other one. So that's maybe having an endoskeleton, internal skeleton, gives us great flexibility and everything like that. But we have to keep growing it from the inside. If we have an exoskeleton and we upgrade every few months, we shed our exoskeleton for a new one, which is what you're talking about. So you let that one wear out, you squirm out in a sort of a mass of limpness, and then
like Zoidberg of Futurama.
You get back into your new bigger Mark II exoskeleton, and off you go again for another 10 years until the guarantee runs out.
It sounds like perhaps what a Dalek is. I'd have to check Doctor Who fan lore, but that probably is what it is.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of some negatives, some disadvantages with this sort of system. Obviously, you're going a little bit off-piste biologically, and you might...
Lots of animals do it.
Lots of animals do it.
Insects are one of the most
tasty,
prolific animals on the face of the earth. They all have their exoskeletons.
So you in YouTube land, what would you have? Would you prefer to have an exoskeleton
or endoskeleton? I think is the internal one. Yeah.
I think they've got those generally.
Internal or external skeleton. What's best?
Or would you just prefer to be perhaps a vapour or a gas, and exist merely as a concept?
Yeah, a glint in somebody's eye.
Please leave your comments below and like or subscribe, especially if you'd like to hear more of this inane thoughts. And if you are a being, perhaps that doesn't have a corporeal form, please let us know. And help us understand how you exist. Thanks for watching.
Thank you very much.